Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube page. If you could do me a quick favor, see that little subscribe button at the bottom of your screen? Go ahead, click that subscribe button. Really does help our channel grow, our audience grow, and I really do appreciate it more than you know. So click that subscribe button. Appreciate your support. Now, here's the video that you came here for. So, want to go ahead and get to another result from Saturday night. This one from Fort Collins, Colorado. And it of course, involves the Colorado Buffaloes, a team that we all talk about so much here in the media. And listen, last week against Nebraska was really tough, okay? And you did have a lot of people, myself included. I'm not going to run from it. I'm not going to pretend like I didn't say what I said last week. But I just felt like coming off the end of last year, coming off the struggle at Nebraska, you needed, if you're Colorado, a big win, a signature win, a statement win at Colorado State this weekend, just to prove this thing isn't going off the tracks. You are making progress, and you are a better football team than you were a year ago. I've always thought you were, but at some point you need to prove it. I thought Colorado did just that with a dominant 28-9 victory over Colorado State. I know Colorado State isn't the best team in college football, but at the same time, Colorado was up 28-3 midway through the third quarter. It was complete domination. It could have been worse. And for the first time, really, I think this season, if you're a Colorado fan, if you're a Coach Prime fan, you got to feel like, okay, we finally put together a complete game. And if we can get some version of that going forward, we have to feel really good about who we are and what we are capable of this season. So in terms of the game, as I just said, 28-9 was the final score. And like I said, it was not as close as the final score would indicate. Colorado was awesome. Colorado had complete control really from about the middle of the second quarter on. There was never really a moment that you felt like Colorado wasn't going to win this game. But I just think there were a ton of positives that came out of this one. The first one, boy, oh boy, is it obvious, but for the first time, maybe since last year's TCU game, the run game was there. It was established. To quote Seinfeld, it was real, and it was spectacular. Listen, credit to the staff behind the scenes. We all saw the Nebraska game. We all saw early that they couldn't establish the run. We all saw that you needed to establish the run in this game and prove that you could run the football. To the credit of Colorado, they did that. You look at this game, they finished with 109 yards rushing, about 6 yards per carry. And so you see what it does for the passing game when you can't just, rush 7 or 8, tee off on Shedeur and go crazy because there is no threat of a run game. So credit to the run game. By the way, credit to the offensive line at Colorado. I'll be honest, I loved, if you saw the post-game press conference, they brought up the entire offensive line. They basically said, look, I know a lot of you guys in the media are trying to create a divide between them and us and this and that. No. These guys were awesome. They deserve credit. They were excellent, and they are a key part to what we're going to do going forward. So the run game was great. The O-line was certainly improved. And I think what it also proved is that when you have a run game, it shows just how good the receiver core is, which, as I've said many times on this show, I believe you could argue that Colorado has right up there with some of the best receiving cores in the country, okay? Don't know if it's better than Ohio State. Don't know if it's better than Texas. But you look across the rest of the Big 12, I think there's no doubt it's the best receiver core in this conference. But beyond that, it's on the short list nationally. Travis Hunter, another 13 catches for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. LeJontay Wester, if you watch the well-off media stuff that is produced by Coach Prime and his son, Bucky Sanders, Deion Sanders Jr., I think you see the impact that kid has in the locker room, LeJontay Wester, and the importance that he has on this team. You knew it was only a matter of if not when he broke out. 5 catches, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns for a guy that had over 1,000 yards receiving at Florida Atlantic a year ago. So he has his breakout game. Will Shepard, 7 catches. And let's be honest, there was maybe 1 or 2 that he should have had that he didn't. Jimmy Horn, 4 catches. There was one that was called back that should have been called back. So this, to me, was just a complete effort offensively. Best run game you've had in a long time. And the defense, to their credit, they held up. Listen, the stat sheet doesn't look great. It's a little bit deceptive because, Colorado State started piling on the yards late when they're just trying to, get up and down and score as fast as possible. But Colorado State is held to 9 points, 4 of 15 on third down conversions. And so, again, this was just the best version of Colorado. And I'll be honest, it is the version that I thought we were going to see in the preseason. I am one of those guys. I truly believed in my heart of hearts that this team was going to be improved. I thought the coaching staff was upgraded. And I think if you follow the portal, there were just too many guys brought into this team to not expect improvement. Better on the offensive line. You bring in Jordan Seaton. He's not out of the portal, but he's a 5-star. You bring in Khalil Benson, of course, Indiana 4-year starter, Big Ten, didn't give up a sack last year. At the wide receiver position, we mentioned LeJohntay Wester. On defense, that front line, Deion Hayes, of course, from Pitt. You have Sam Okunlola from Pitt. You have Quincy Wiggins from LSU. I could go on and on and on and on. But if you watch this team and if you follow the team in the offseason, it felt like they should be better, and they really did look better on Saturday. And so with it, for all the criticism of Coach Prime a week ago, you're 2-1. That's kind of where you want it to be. I think we all realize that maybe Nebraska's a little bit better than we gave them credit for. But you look at this schedule, if Colorado brings the intensity that they brought on Saturday, there aren't a lot of games on this schedule that they cannot win, okay? First off, you look at the Big 12. Listen, the Big 12 is really good. But one, there's no dominant team. And two, I think some of those teams that we thought were dominant maybe aren't quite as good. Arizona, listen, I was as high on Arizona as anybody last year, but there is something weird going on there. The offense was great game 1, struggled in game 2, struggled in game 3. The defense has been bad at times. They went through the coaching change. They lost to Kansas State the other night, but they gave up 39 in New Mexico, struggled against Northern Arizona. That is not anything close to a top 25 team right now. Beyond that, Utah is dealing with another injury to Cam Rising. Easily could have lost the other day. You don't hope there's injuries, but that was a team that Colorado played close last year. Kansas was a team that I was high on. They already have 2 losses this season, lost to Illinois and lost to UNLV the other night. So all of a sudden you look at this schedule, there's not a lot of games that you're like, Colorado has no shot in. Name me the game that Colorado has no shot in. Kansas State looks good. Kansas State doesn't look unbeatable to me. Oklahoma State looks good, but Oklahoma State's later in the year. And like Kansas State, that one is in Boulder. And so you start to look at the schedule. First off, let me say this. Colorado, you want some positive pub, go beat Baylor this weekend. Because to me, Baylor, I know they're 2-1. That's a team that you should beat. Baylor struggled with Air Force on Saturday. Dave Aranda is very much on the hot seat. It feels like there's something weird going on in that program. If you want to make a statement, beat Baylor. It's at home. It's an 8 p.m. kickoff. You're going to have another national audience. And you do that on a Saturday night. All of a sudden, you're 3-1. People are talking about you, and they're talking about the fact that this is actually maybe a very good football team. To me, the game that really intrigues me as an observer, and listen, I'll be honest, I like Coach Prime. I don't know if I'd call myself a fan, but the game that really intrigues me, 2 weeks from now against UCF. Coach Prime, all those Florida kids going back to Florida. UCF right now is 3-0, 1-0 in the league. If you start to win that one, listen, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. We're talking about Colorado as an 8-9 win team competing at the top of the Big 12. So to me, listen, you're not going to put the cart before the horse, but you look at this conference. You look at the fact that these teams are not quite as good as we thought. And you look at the fact that Colorado, man, you just got to keep winning the games you're supposed to. And I think you're going to be in really good shape. Appreciate everybody joining me for this Colorado reaction. Do me a quick favor. If you are not subscribed to the Aaron Torres Pod YouTube channel, we're talking all college football this time of year, little college hoops as well. Make sure you're subscribed. Click the subscribe button so you know when new clips, new videos go up every single day. Appreciate your support. Back to talk more Colorado here